bet you if no one has ever showed you the difference between God who created the heavens and the earth, the Spirit of God that was hovering over the face of the waters, right? The God, right, where it says God created man in his own image, in his image he created him, male and female, created them. All right, and I'm breezing through this. It distinguishedly says that God created and made, right, from the Lord God who formed man. Okay, created and made are distinguished because created means to bring something into existence. Made means to form in a particular place by a particular process, or to construct by putting your heart in its place, your brain in its place, your liver, your kidneys, your colons, and etc., etc. All right. But the Lord God formed, which means to shape or configure, means to take a mouflon and make it into a sheep, a wolf into a dog, or a boar into a pig. You get it, right? So the Lord formed, and it'll say form multiple times, right? Twice, just like it used created and made twice, right? Created, made, to confirm that this is no coincidence. These terms are being used specifically for a reason. Formed is used twice as well. And then we go into the description of the Nile River and its connection to the Euphrates and Assyria. So this links the land of Cush to Assyria. So this is the geography and the time period. All right, and it also tells us that the Lord God took the man in many ways, and that's part of the whole thing. He also says that the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon. This means a state of unconsciousness. He did not wake up until Eve gave him the fruits of knowledge. All right, so now we're going to go into chapter 3, where you'll see the distinguishment between the Lord God and God. God has to do with the wisdom, all right, knowledge of wisdom, the third eye, which is wisdom, and the eyes of them were open, they were illuminated, right? They became aware, they realized that they were not covered. Illuminate means to make something visible or bright by shining light on it, or to help clarify or explain. So this is what occurred, an illumination, all right, a realization, a manifestation of the truth, all right. They heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the cool of the day, and they were able to hide themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees. So this, of course, has to do with the field, right? And 3:14, the curse. This is the reason why the Lord separates from God after chapter 4. If you notice, right? He respected Abel's offering, but he did not respect Cain's offering. So the Lord, just like he said, he was going to put enmity between the man and the woman, and between their seed, your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head and you shall bruise his heel. He actually does that. He put the enmity between the boys, right? And at the end, when Seth was born to replace Cain and Abel, right? You see, God is used for the first time in this chapter in accordance to knowledge, or he had appointed, right? This is something that is intangible, and you see that it concludes with the men began to call upon the name of the Lord, who's named after Seth. And Seth, from the Kemetic perspective, is an evil god who murdered his brother Osiris and wounded Osiris' son Horus. And this is the connection between the story of Cain and Abel, brothers who are imposed with each other, right? Seth is the lord of the red lands. Osiris was the lord of the black lands, which are in Egypt and included Canaan for the early periods of time. So God created man. You see, this is the quote from Genesis 1:27 that is used in Genesis 5 to start the lineage of Adam, and it's also used in the parable of Christ, where he mentions this when he said, have you not read in the beginning, right? He who made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this reason man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So he is combining Genesis 1:27, all right, and Genesis 2:24, all right. So this is an example of what we do in our Illuminated New Bible Study.